So I've just put together a quick presentation. Yeah, nice and fancy. Like I said, we're working with Foodbank and hello. Okay, cool. So Coders for Causes is working with Foodbank, and we will be making a nice little web app for them. So we are very fortunate enough to have people from Foodbank. We have Jenny and Gemma from Foodbank come down to UWA themselves, despite of their busy schedule. So would you guys like to give a few words to our coders?
Okay, thanks, Ash. So thanks everyone for inviting us to come along, and it's fantastic to meet you all face to face. So I've been working with you guys for, it's probably about 18 months, I think, since the project began, and I know a lot of you have already been working on the project, so that's amazing, thank you. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview about what our project is about, so it'll give you more passion and energy to really strive to achieve, you know, the end product, which that's what we're aiming to do, is to be able to launch it next year. So Foodbank you might already know, but we are the largest hunger relief organisation in Australia, and a lot of what we do is provide food assistance to people in need. But the other part of the team that I'm involved in is called Healthy Food for All. So we are a team of nutritionists or dietitians, and we teach people all about healthy eating and cooking. So we work right across the state. Actually, Gemma works in the Pilbara. She's a fly-in, fly-out nutritionist, so she goes up there and works with communities, a lot of Aboriginal communities. So Foodbank, we started the Superhero Food Project about 2014, and the idea behind it is everyday foods are superhero foods in disguise. So we want to get kids really engaged and excited about healthy food. And Super Fruity, he is the leader of the superhero foods. And as you can see, it's pretty buff banana. It's got a six-pack. And this is the idea that we want kids to be really pumped and excited about eating healthy food. So in Australia, about 1 in 4 children are overweight or obese. So the early years is really like a really fundamental time when children need to establish really healthy eating behaviours. And we know that that's not happening. So things like cooking skills are just not being taught to kids. So we're all about getting kids really engaged with healthy eating, and we really want to encourage them to cook. So my dream has been to have an app for superhero foods, because we know kids really engage well with technology, and we just want to make it really fun and exciting. So that's where the whole idea came about. If there wasn't people like you guys volunteering, there's no way we would be able to fund such a project, because, you know, it costs a lot of money to develop an app. So Foodbank relies really heavily on volunteers, and that's the core of our ethos, I suppose, is all about responsibility, collaboration, and really innovation. So we really just wanted to say from Gemma, myself and the whole team at Foodbank, thank you very much. Also just letting you know, as Ash mentioned, he is going to be working on the project with me and the team. So it's a great opportunity for Ash to learn all about Foodbank, develop some skills in maybe an area that you never thought. Maybe you could develop some cooking skills.
Definitely, I've learned a lot of cooking.
Yeah. So I just thought to inspire you guys even more, I brought some copies of our handbook. So this is the A to Z of superhero foods. Everything you want to know about all the characters, where they live, which this is a lot of the content that you're putting into the app. So there's some hard copies. Please take a copy. And also I just bought a few of our recipe books. So this is how, this is how we engage kids with the characters. We've got some bush foods on the back. And our recipes, which again will be developed into the app, are all picture based, so step by step. And if you guys are poor working students and you need to, you know, think about planning meals on a budget, have a go cooking some of these. I'm sure you will find them really delicious, but they also are really nutritious and budget friendly. So I've left some of these behind for you as well. And that's pretty much it. So thank you very much again. We really appreciate it. And, you know, putting all these hours in over your break period is amazing. And yeah, we just want to let you know that how much we appreciate the efforts from the coders. So thanks everybody. Any questions anybody's got before Gemma and I take off? All right, well enjoy your day everyone and all the best with the project. I'm sure Ash will keep us really informed and do a great job managing it so we can launch it. And that's the thing, when we launch next year, we'd love to involve you guys in that launch. It's not going to be at the Ritz or anything like that, but it will be something that we want to just, bring everybody together and celebrate, because it would be a great achievement to have that app finally launched and allow kids to use it. They're just going to be super excited about it. Thanks.
Okay, that was lovely. So if you guys ever have any question about Foodbank in general, just feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be sure to forward it to Gemma or Jenny. Okay, cool. So let's talk a bit about the project. So like Jenny mentioned, we will be making a nice web app for kids to engage them and to educate them about healthy food. So I've actually put together a prototype kind of thingy to make it clear what exactly we're making, even though the designs in the prototype aren't actually final, but I'll just pop that up anyways. Cool, so yeah, when you open up the web app, you'll actually see this island, which is called the Tucker Island, and the web app, the game basically starts off with Super Fruity appearing and giving an introduction to superhero foods. And yeah, so we've got a nice nav bar up here. So if I just click on this. Alright, so this is Tucker Island. If you click on one of these locations, let's say if I click on supply store, it's going to zoom into the map and it's going to give this nice little pop-up, and when you click on visit, it's going to show you the superhero foods, the everyday foods that are associated to that location. And if you click on one of those food characters, let's say tinned beans, it's going to give you some information about it. And if I click on transform, it turns into the superhero version of that everyday food. So this is the superhero food version called the bean machine, and it should be able to do that for all of those. Okay, that's actually not supposed to do that. If I click on menu, it's supposed to open up this drop-down thing here. These are the different pages we have. We've got the Tucker Island, which is the home page. We've got the recipes page. We've got the drag and drop game. We need to come up with a new name for this. Obviously, we're not going to call it drag drop game. Trophy room is where you see the achievements. So another thing is that on Tucker Island, every location will actually consist of characters associated to that location. So we just saw supply store, but there is one exception, which is Healthy Town. Healthy Town will actually redirect you to the drag drop game. So the drag and drop game design is not final, but the idea is that you'll have everyday superhero foods on one side, and you have to drag them into the correct food category, and every time they get it correct, it will increase their scores. Still need to come up with the design and idea for this one, so it's a good task to work on. Yeah, so if I just go back to the home page, another thing I'll show you guys is the recipes page. Some of our coders were working on this in the winter and they've mostly completed it. We have gotten some feedback that we need to increase the font size for these, but I'll show you one of the pages. Obviously you would be able to scroll down here and see the equipment and ingredients, but since this is a Canva prototype, you can't really do that. But if you go to the bottom of the page, you'll see these two buttons here. There's a button to view all steps, which will show you all the steps for the recipe on like one page that you scroll through. But if you click on the Let's Cook button, it starts up this slideshow kind of thingy that children can essentially slide on. Like if they're looking on their iPad, they can slide and view the recipe as they're cooking, or they can just click these buttons. Designs are not final, saying that again because I designed this and I'm not particularly the best at designing stuff. Okay. Okay, so now let's have a look at the trophy room. Yeah, so every time the user gets an achievement, we're gonna grant them these badges, and this is the cabinet for the badges. Each badge corresponds to an achievement. Once you have 3 on this particular shelf, it kind of gives you this green bar. So we can have like a group of achievements or something like that. That's the trophy room. Now you might notice over here, there was a button saying sign in, but now it says John Smith 22. So yeah, the idea is that we will be storing the progress of the users. So yeah, when you sign in, it should, so when you click on sign in, it should pop a form up like this. It won't really look anything like this. I think it's, where is he? Nicholas was working on it. So the way we're actually doing the sign-in is actually pretty interesting, rather creative, I'd say. So they type in their username. When they click on sign-in, it pops up like this 3x3 grid with superhero food characters in it. And the way they type their password is by selecting 3 characters on that grid, and that will be their password. So every time they log in, they have to select those characters. The really cool thing is that the sequence of the characters, the way they appear on the grid, is corresponds to the name that is typed here. So it's not exactly random, it's pseudo-random. So if I type John, the sequence of the characters that appears will be the same if I type John again. But if I type Bob as the username, and then the sequence of the grid will be different. I should have put a visual here, but I kind of forgot to do that. So yeah, I guess that's it. Tucker Island, recipes, drag drop game, trophy. That's the essence of what we will be making. There's a few things, but they're not the highest priority. So like we actually have the plans of adding some audio for like, let's say the part where you have the introduction at the start. We could have like an audio playing in the background of someone saying, "Hi, I'm Super Fruity. Welcome to the Superhero Foods Adventures." So yeah, that's one of our plans that we have. Another thing would be, yeah, so we also want to add like a video section over here for, so it will consist of videos on how to handle knife, which is essential, especially if you're going to be cooking food. We want to know those essential things, so we might be adding another page for videos, and the way we're going to do that is we're actually going to be embedding them. We're not going to be redirecting them to a YouTube channel because that can be distracting for kids. So we're going to have them embedded onto a page. It's pretty basic. Yeah, we redid the nav bar. It didn't look like this. I was working with, where are you? Oh, hi, Sean. I was working with Schwan. And yeah, we basically redesigned the nav bar. Before the options, like the drop-down stuff, it wasn't a drop-down. There were like buttons here, and it didn't really look particularly cool. So we came up with this, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with the design. I think Jennifer, do you like that design?
Yeah, it's great. It's really on branding. One thing I forgot to mention is currently we have over 7,000 users on our website, and that's all around Australia, even internationally. But the app will be housed on the website, so it'll be easy for kids to access. And yeah, there's lots of people using it all over. So it's hoping teachers will let kids download the app onto iPads in the classroom and use it that way as well. So it'll be a bit of a fun game for kids to play.
Right. Cool. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, we still need to work on designing some of the pages. But anyways, that's it for the front end. Let's talk a bit about the back end, which is the interesting part. Okay, it does that. Cool. So we just had a look at the front end right now. We've got Tucker Island. Some of the features of that Tucker Island page is when you click on the individual locations, it zooms in and it gives you a pop-up. We need to implement that. There's location-specific character viewing screens. Pages, actually, the supply food characters that we saw. We need to implement that page. Individual character infos, like when I clicked on the Bean Man, the info that it showed, and the associated character transformation. When you click on the transformation, the superhero food character version of that character will show up. The other pages, we have to design the recipes, drag and drop game, trophy, navigation bar, and video pages, which I mentioned at the very end. That's the front end things we need to do. The back end is the achievements, the trophy room. Right, so I should mention that we are actually using Firestore for our database, Firestore from Firebase. So yeah, I was personally working on that in the winter, and I think it is pretty much set up. So every time a user gets an achievement, it will be synchronized with the database, and every time you go to the trophy room, it should fetch that data of that user from the Firestore database, and then render the page. So yeah, that's achievements. Yeah, so for every record of a user on Firestore, we should store their achievements, and yeah, I think that's it. So this is something I need to do. Yeah, right. Let's talk about Notion. So we're going to be giving clients the ability to add recipes, edit recipes, or delete recipes from the recipes page. And the way we'll do that is by using Notion as a CMS. Are you guys familiar with a CMS? A content management system. It's basically what lets you add content to a page. Basically, add or remove or edit. So we're going to be using Notion for that purpose. We're going to have like a table in Notion where the clients can add like recipes as records of that table, and it will get automatically added to the recipes page on our app. So the way we'll do this is using Notion API. Yeah, so capability to manage recipes, including ingredients, equipment, and steps. That's like the specifics of each recipe. And another thing we'll be including is the capability to manage characters and their location in the Tucker Island. So if I go back to our web app prototype, right, so yeah, in supply store, the characters were these guys here. So we're giving client the ability to add more characters to this particular location or any other location, and to edit the information associated with each character, or even delete characters. So that will be possible using Notion as well. And yeah, I think that's it. Recipe management, character management. Yeah, so. Alrighty, the timeline. So I've drafted a timeline for us to work on this project. Now, I don't expect everyone to finish the tasks on the dates that I mentioned here, because we understand you're volunteers, not employees. So obviously, the first task I've said is the drag and drop game, which should be finished by 8 ideally, but that is sort of soon. The reason why I have this one pretty early on is because I do remember some volunteers were working on it during winter, and I recall it being completed, but when I had a look at it, I realized that it's using the old stack. We actually changed to a different stack in winter. Yeah, so I think I'm probably going to have to push this to 15th. So yeah, so by 15th, ideally it would be good if we are able to finish the drag and drop game. The recipes Let's Cook page, because the recipe page, which actually shows a bunch of recipes, is basically done. But the Let's Cook page, the slideshow of the recipes, we need to work on that one. Redesigning the navbar. I created the design, but actually putting it into code and trying to make it look similar to what I designed. We need to do that. Need to create the sign-in form. I think sign-in form is done. Just need to make it look a bit aesthetically pleasing. We need to do the trophy room front end. So all the assets, I should have mentioned this earlier, all the assets have been provided to us by Foodbank in a Dropbox. I'll chuck the link of that on Discord. Yeah, we need to do the Tucker Island character views in every location. That page where we showed the characters associated with the location. It would be cool if we can make a template page for that. So if you click on a particular location, it just opens up that template page, and then it fetches the characters from the database based on the name of that location, if you get what I mean. And yeah, we need to create we just need to synchronize the recipe page with Notion using Notion API. Yeah, we need to work on the Tucker Island map click and zoom feature.
I actually completed that last
Oh,
semester.
did you complete
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I don't know. I actually tested it. It wasn't exactly
Yeah, like it's
accurate.
because the values are hard-coded so far.
Right. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's
So
fine.
it's nearly complete, you said?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I know. I felt like that's kind of like the hardest feature.
Yeah, it took me the whole semester.
It took you very long, didn't it? So yeah, that's why I placed it far away anyways. So if you get this completed ahead of schedule, that would be amazing. Yeah, well done. Yeah, Tucker Island character synchronization with, is that repeated? Yeah. Character synchronization. Oh no, that's character views in every location. This is talking about, right, no, that's not the Notion one. Yeah, so the next task is to actually synchronize the characters in every location with the Notion table where the client will be able to add more characters. Yeah, and setting up a Notion CMS for adding, updating, and moving characters. That's kind of like the same thing. Okay, the achievements feature for completion of specific tasks. We're actually going to need, I think, yeah, we're going to need you guys to provide us a list of like achievements. So yeah, Foodbank will be providing us a list of like criteria for earning achievements, and so we can actually implement those and then implement the the synchronization with Firestore database, so that it adds the achievement to the user's record in Firestore every time they earn an achievement, and yeah, trophy and synchronization with Firestore, and at the very end we can do a nice little video page, like I mentioned, knife safety videos. Yeah, put this at the end because I feel like these ones are our top priority to have a functional app. If we do get ahead of schedule in, yeah, that would be cool, but I don't expect that to happen. Then we can like talk that a bit earlier, and you obviously put like an arbitrary date for every handover. You need to create a documentation of the project. I'll try working on that. And, does anyone have any questions regarding the timeline? So we'll have a look at the technical stuff of Foodbank when Drew and Jeremiah are here. So I think, yeah, as far as what the project is, I think I've explained most of it. Yeah, then we'll probably talk about the technical stuff once those guys are here. So yeah, that's it for now. Yeah.